So guess what? So The View gets something right, or one person does on The View. But what I have to show you first is there's this Congresswoman, Sheila Jackson Lee, and there's an audio recording of her berating her staff over a screw up.
Yeah.
And people are making a big deal out of it. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I played sports. I've had every coach I ever had in my life yelled, screamed, called us pansies, and way worse than that.
Yeah.
And
if you want to work as a staffer for any of these scumbags in government, you kind of deserve to be yelled at.
Yeah, I agree. So here she is yelling at her staff for screwing up. Listen, it's hard. It's a little hard to hear, but Chris, you will jack it up a little.
You took a piece of paper from that woman regarding something that was over at Duncan Tail. Where is it? What date was it?
All from yesterday. Jerome took it upstairs. I have to call him. He took it up when I switched out the papers. I'll call him as soon as you get here.
I don't want you to do a goddamn thing. I want you to have a fucking brain. I want you to have read it. I want you to say, Congresswoman, it was such and such date. That's what I want. That's the kind of staff that I want to have. So some stupid other motherfucker did it, and I don't have the information. Nobody sent me the information. I need to ensure my schedule. And, if Boo-Boo did it, shit-ass did it, fuckface did it, and nobody knows a goddamn thing in my office. Okay? Nothing. I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, imprint it in your brain, or send me the information back saying, Congresswoman, I made sure that the Ovi Duncan Tell event that you gave me for so-and-so date at 7 is on the fucking calendar. Not to, Jerome has it. Okay? So when I called Jerome, he gonna be sitting up there like a fat-ass stupid idiot talking about what the fuck he doesn't know. Okay? Both of y'all are a fucking F. It's the worst shit that I could have ever had put together. Two goddamn big-ass children. Fucking idiots. No goddamn person. Ain't managing nobody. Nobody's respecting them. Nobody gives a shit about what you're doing. And you ain't doing shit. And this is an example of it. I gave it to Jerome. This is not child's work. Okay?
Oh.
So that was her berating her staff about something they screwed up on.
If she talked that way in Congress, I would move to her state and vote for her.
I would vote for her.
If that's how she openly spoke,
if she openly spoke to other people,
I'll move there.
Yeah. So now they cover this on The View, and let's just watch. It's fun.
All-right blog called Current Revolt, and they released alleged audio of Democratic Texas Congresswoman and mayoral candidate Sheila Jackson Lee really letting her staff have it. I mean, she goes all out. She says all kind of words, a lot of bad words. People are really upset about it. Her former colleague, Adam Kinzinger, weighed in saying her treatment of staff has been an open secret. But when Lee's staff was asked to comment, they called it a political hit job. What to do, what to do.
So her own staff is cool with it. In fact, a former intern of hers is running for her seat now as she runs for mayor, and it has endorsed her run for mayor. So her former staffers are still on board with her.
I'll bet you those two guys are fat-ass idiots, and she's right.
And there we go.
How much you want to bet?
Keep their job, so they're not going to confirm it. But someone who she was talking to must have been recording her. Oh. I mean, it is an open secret. I have friends that are, have worked for the Congressional Black Caucus, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's Sheila." I was like, really? Speaking to people like that? I mean, she said...
What?
Well,
you mean speaking to people like everyone has ever spoken to someone before in their life? You've never spoken to someone like that in your life?
You know it's an open secret. The ladies of The View are morons.
Yeah, I think that's the open secret. Here we go.
A lot we can't say, but she said she called them two blank big-ass children and blank idiots who serve no blank purpose.
Ooh.
I mean, it was deep. I have been spoken to like that, actually. Yeah. And it's hurtful, it's harmful, and that's why she has one of the highest turnover rates.
Calling you terms of endearment. No, listen, I thought, and first of all, honestly, I cuss, okay? I cuss in 3 languages. If I'm drunk, I can do it in 5. But I think there's a difference between cussing and cussing somebody out, denigrating them. Okay. This was verbal abuse.
What? No. What's it? What? Cussing someone out again?
There is a difference, but in that call, it was cussing. By the way, cussing someone out. Who says cussing? You redneck.
Let's go.
is so bad that we can't even play a little bit of it.
Well, we can't play a little bit of it because it's all blue.
It's it's emotional abuse. It's toxic. And frankly, if she was anything other than a congresswoman, she'd probably be taken to HR and fired. But since there's no speaker, who's going to censure her? Who's going to refer her to the ethics committee? Who's going to, it's an embarrassment.
Go ahead.
I'll say as long back as like 2014 when I first started working on Capitol Hill, it was an open secret. She was always rated one of the worst bosses on Capitol Hill. She, 2018, ranked the worst for having the highest turnover rate, 11 different chiefs of staff in 11 years. My issue is this, is like, the arrogance, well, A, it's just wrong and it's just mean, but also the arrogance of doing it for so many years and just thinking you can get away with it and you won't get caught. In any other business in America, corporate America, you could not talk to somebody like that and keep your job.
Are you joking?
And we need to have a little bit higher standards for Congress.
But that's why.
Wait, first of all, I don't know any business that people don't get to. Did you not see that movie Swimming with Sharks about show business, right? But what's another?
That was not
what about The Devil Wears Prada? That's about
The Devil Wears Prada.
What business that has high stakes that people don't? Do you ever watch sports? Do you ever watch any sport? Do you ever watch them beat the shit out of each other in a hockey game and they get a 5-minute penalty? Do you ever see that? Do you ever see every baseball player and every baseball coach go out there and scream and cuss at an umpire and scream their head? People cheer it. They love it, and they kick dirt on them and do all that stuff and call them every name in the book. What world do you live in that this doesn't happen? Where does that? At a preschool?
Who was that guy that had to leave because he wrestles with his assistant?
So I don't really. Honest to God, I don't.
You know what? I'd like to go to HR and just complain about war criminals. That's what I'd like to complain about. I don't give a shit about them swearing. How about the war criminals that are wandering through our country right now?
Here.
They're funding literal Nazis, and they're saluting Nazis in the Canadian Parliament. But
how do we know these two assistants didn't say that Hamas's attacks were not unprovoked?
Maybe they did.
We have to be able to prove that it's her.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly
let's
her.
say it's
Well,
let me tell you what she's saying. She said some staffers have worked for her for years, others have left and then come back. She says everybody that leaves gets greater and greater because of the experience they got. Her former intern is now running for her congressional seat and supports Jackson Lee's run for Houston's mayor. She'd be the first black woman to be mayor of Houston. I think it's listen, being cussed out is sometimes part of how some of us grew up. When adult folks go off, especially women when they go off, because they're not going to hit you. They're going to cuss you out. So, I think if you are in an environment that is toxic for you, that you should leave it. You should leave it.
Lisa, I think the first thing this lady needs to do, because
I can't believe I'm agreeing with Whoopi, but I'm agreeing with Whoopi. If you don't like the environment you're working in, and you think, can you imagine? Could you imagine a baseball player or a football player or a hockey player or a soccer player saying, "The coach yelled at me, so I quit. I want to be because he just yells too much." Can you imagine that happening? I can't imagine that happening.
It depends on the.
When I used to work construction, they used to beat the shit. So the new guy on the job would get hit with the level.
What?
And they would. What do you
didn't do that at the construction I worked?
What? I mean, I just don't understand. It's just.
You know what they used to say? Hey, college, go get the nails.
That's right. They would say it's not a book, huh?
Yeah,
that's what they would tell me.
I went to art school, by the way. I didn't go to real college.
Okay. Yeah, they go, would they send you to college to get stupid? That's they say all kind of stuff. They would call you every name in the book. So I guess I haven't had many real jobs. I guess I was a comedian.
Yeah.
But every club owner I ever worked for spoke to me any goddamn way they felt like talking to me.
By the way, it probably beats working for Kamala Harris.
Yeah. How about Amy Klobuchar?
Maybe they got to sit and watch her eat a salad with a comb to.
Didn't Amy Klobuchar get accused of throwing staplers at people's heads?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, there's an open secret and this and that. That phone call didn't. Honest to God, that phone call didn't. It sounded like they really did screw up. I don't know.
Sound like they did screw up.
I don't know what the situation is, but all I heard was what sounded to me was these are probably two rich kids that got the job, because who gets those jobs?
Right.
And they probably do the same work like my manager's old. He had two manager's assistants, and one of them is the nephew of someone important. I said, whose important nephew is this that can't get anything right? And it was because he was someone's important nephew. So my guess is it's a couple
You
of
ever see Glenn Ross, for fuck's sake?
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
that's when Alice Baldwin came in and they shot them. No, yeah.
That's the world I grew up in, right? So I grew up in
I'm not saying it's right.
I'm not saying it's right either. I grew up in a really blue collar neighborhood. Every athletic coach I ever had yelled at you and demeaned you and whatever. That's just what that you didn't take it personal. And if I didn't like it, I could have quit the team. Well, I could have quit the team and got out of there. And if I didn't like working for a club owner, I didn't have to go back. When club owners talk to me in a denigrating way, it happens all the time, I didn't have to go back.
It's just the yelling was, if I'm laughing at the yelling, then I feel like it's not.
Yeah.
You hear it and you're like, oh, that's really out of line. Remember Christian Bale's weird screaming that he apologized for to the guy?
Yes, remember that?
Light?
Yeah.
So that to me sounds way different. That's just, and I think he apologized and all that, and the guy forgave it. But that sounded like that's really bad. When I heard this, I laughed out loud.
Yeah. Okay.
Saying allegedly, and we're saying all of this.
No, because they were saying allegedly because apparently no one can
the reason
her office
validate.
The reason we're saying allegedly is because she is not being an adult and owning her. And she's not saying, you know what, I own it and I shouldn't speak to my staff this way.
And I'm going to get better and I'm going to get training.
She doesn't want to lie.
But also staffers on Capitol Hill. A lot of people don't want to go into public service. You know this as a former federal prosecutor. You're underpaid for incredibly hard work and long hours. And anyone who works in her office could go.
So why would they want to do that job then?
So they can do some yelling?
What is the pay that if they're not getting high pay and they're overworked? Well, what is the attraction to that job for them?
Power.
It's certainly a stepping stone of power or something.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, what is it? All right.
Work on K Street and make 5 times what they're making, but they want to serve the public. They do not deserve to be berated.
They want to serve the public, Kurt.
They deserve every bit of that berating. They deserve. I would say
they want to serve the public.
Yeah.
They could so I'm supposed to believe that this Congresswoman's staff could go make 5 times their salary on K Street, but they want to serve the public.
Yeah. Hey, well, if I make a buck or two at the same time, all the better. It's called effective altruism, Jimmy.
Get the F out of here.
So many people that want to serve the public. I don't buy that. If you're in a situation,
Whoopi's 3 for 3.
Whoopi makes 3 great points.
Oh my God, Whoopi.
That is like that, and there are other folks you can go and work for, then you should not stay.
I have to. You're right. I did that at the Justice Department. I had a female.
I had a boss like this.
So if you want to serve the public, you could go work for a charitable organization. You could go work for there's all kinds of places where you could go serve the public. You'd have to go work for a congresswoman who you think is emotionally abusive to you.
Yeah, or if you want to be successful because you're ambitious, you can stay. In fact, you could do like Anita Hill and follow Clarence Thomas to new jobs around, even though he's harassing you because you're an ambitious woman. That's a quote.
Did she really follow him to?
Yeah, they go, why'd you go to the next job? And
no,
because she was an ambitious
she
woman.
did. I don't know about this.
Well, look it up.
Okay.
It's just like that's the thing where I go, shouldn't you quit or say, hey, I don't like this? That entire power center revolves around, and so does Hollywood, by the way.
I know.
It all revolves around, oh, I'm not going to say a thing that could get me in trouble. Like, oh, you just take whatever. They haven't fixed that. Me Too didn't fix that. None of that's going to ever get fixed. You suck up to the powerful if you want to be powerful one day. That's how that works.
I mean, I had an agent in Hollywood tell me, you're not funny, who represented me. And I could have left, but I was like, all right, I don't care what you think of me. I need you to open a door for me.
Why was he
That's what I needed.
You if you think I'm funny?
He said, you're charming. That's what he said. I said,
you're it's one of those nuanced kind
of? He's like, well, okay, all right. So they're just laughing because I'm charming them. Okay. All right. I charmed my way into the iTunes Best Comedy Special of the Year in 2008. I don't know if you know that. It's so charming. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. The kind of stuff, it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. And you have to have grit. And if you don't have grit, they should go work somewhere else. That's all. It's not a big deal.
How are you going to take the abuse you get on a sit?
That's from Glengarry Glen Ross.
You think
this is tough abuse?
F you.
F you. How are you going to take the abuse you get on a sit?
Go home and play with your kids.
That's right.
To me like that, and I said, you cannot speak to me like that, and I transferred
But she
departments.
needs anger management to own it, and maybe to.
So she just said that she had someone who talked to her in a way she didn't like, and she quit.
All right, there you go.
There you go.
That's why there's so much turnover on The View, by the way. Did you see Robbie screaming at Brianna Joy Gray? I was cackling about it. Wait, were you gone when we were doing
I was gone when you were talking about
dying.
Did you see on camera? That's how Robbie talked to Brianna Joy Gray.
On
camera, he was screaming at the top of his lungs at her.
Dude, you see, I was dying while he was
calling her
angry,
saying it was stupid and all that stuff. That was on camera. How someone talks to someone else.
It looked like Brianna was babysitting Robbie.
It did look like that.
Brianna's like a nice babysitter, and he was and she goes, "Well, I'm just saying, blah blah." But he goes, and he like didn't know why he was mad, like a 4-year-old. I am saying that too. I'm like, wait, are you guys even disagreeing? Do you have poopy pants, Robbie?
I think Robbie had poopy pants that time.
Brianna looked like someone who cares for special needs kids and is real patient with them.
and here we go.
Or maybe.
So this woman let me back it up a little, because that one woman in the rust jacket said that woman should go to anger management.
I said, shut up, fat ass.
Hang on, let's watch.
That's right. And I transferred
But she
departments.
needs anger management to own it, and maybe to resign if she's not going to.
Maybe.
She needs anger management to own it and maybe resign. That's what this woman is saying. So listen to what Whoopi says. She's going to make a fourth good point. Watch this.
Or maybe her staff needs to grow a couple of pair if this is actually what's going on, and say, ma'am, as I leave this job, I want you to know.
It's power dynamics, though.
Yeah, but you know what? Power dynamics do not force you to stay in a place where you are being mistreated.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you should. You can go to people and say, how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
There's also no HR on Capitol Hill.
No,
As somebody who dealt with a lot of Capitol Hill, there is nowhere to go.
And it's very hard to get a transfer.
Yes.
It's very
Say
hard.
what? Oh, there's a legal note. Don't mess.
Okay, so anyway, that's enough of that.
Oh my God.
Can you believe that garbage? I mean,
I'm so sick of the thing of like if I didn't like how I was being talked to at any job, I mean, I don't give a single, I don't want to curse, but I don't care. Like, I'll go, what? And I won't even think about my future here at the company because I'm not a punk. Don't be a punk. If you don't like how they say the same thing back to her.
Hey, come see us doing a live stand-up show in Bloomington, Illinois, Indianapolis, Levittown, New York, Red Bank, New Jersey, Wilmington, Delaware, Covina, California, Burbank, California, Oxnard, California, Venice, California, and Palmdale, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.